when stories gotta collide, alibis get swept aside. I got proof that can't be denied. The data don't lie, people do. Waves crashing, secrets in the tide, facts and numbers side by side. Through the chaos I will abide. The data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie, plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify, the data don't lie, people do. It's in the matrix beyond the eye, hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy, the data don't lie, people do. Look at the records, feel the vibe. Digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Vibe, digits and bytes come alive. I stand tall with nothing to hide. The data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie, plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify, the data don't lie, people do. Friends may twist and tongues may tie, plausible tales shape the sky. In the end you can verify, the data don't lie, people do.
Just about 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4.
It's in the matrix beyond the eye, hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy, the data don't lie, people do. It's in the matrix beyond the eye, hard truth that's flying by. Evidence you can't defy, the data don't lie, people do.
Whoops. Hello, everyone. Just wasn't quick enough there, was I? Still making a coffee. And you probably heard me smashing around in the kitchen in the background because I had my mic unmuted. Anyway, put in the corner today for talking out of turn. Not one of the pro-cop channels. Bootlickers hate hearing the truth. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Hidden Metadata, Mikey, Paul, Hope. Thanks for joining us. So, we have a problem, Houston. I literally ran out of long story. Where do I start? Still making my coffee, sorry. Last week when I had that glitchy malfunction and my audio went weird was actually the motherboard, the logic board on my 5000 kicking the bucket for a second time. Sorry for all the clanging and banging. So yeah, Mac's down. It's at the shop getting fixed. Thankfully, because I've already had that board replaced once, it was still under warranty. So that's a bonus. Today we're on the Mac Mini. So if I fumble through it, you'll have to forgive me because I don't have all the software set up on the Mac Mini. It was really just sitting there off to the side, waiting for, the day I needed it. Because you know what Apple's like, you can't get into your shit. You need to have another piece to get into your shit. And I've only got a Samsung phone. So I bought the Mac Mini so I didn't have to buy an iPhone. Anyway, it's my backup, but I don't have a lot of software installed here. So we will be fumbling today. I apologize in advance. All right, coffee's done. Where are we? Today I wanted to go over the Kelly Deva testimony because, well, there's some things that I noticed. So first and foremost, she told the feds, this is what I'm thinking, but I want to watch it again just to see if I'm still in the right place. I'll tell you afterwards if I'm rethinking it, but she told the feds that she saw Higgy and Berkowitz go into the Sally Port for an unusual amount of time, a wildly long time, around 5:30. But then she got called to her commander's office, who showed her the fake timestamps that we all know are fake. And that proved that it couldn't have been them, but it was fake timestamps. That's where my head's at right now. I think it was actually an hour earlier. So we know the tow truck collected the SUV much earlier in the piece than Proctor recorded in his report. So I kind of feel like there's something going on there. Anyway, that's the verdict from what I've seen so far. But I want to watch it again because I just want to make sure that I'm on the right page. So I thought I might as well go live and test all this equipment out and watch it with yous. Boda, I bricked my M4. I know it's too easy to do with a Mac, right? Took it to a local Apple authorized repair shop and they were able to recover it. Cost me $80 to have them fix my screw up. Still running my M1 Mac Mini today. Right. Well, we'll see how this M1 goes because check what the dog's barking at. It's all right. Someone out there on the road. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, the MacBook's already cooked its logic board once and been replaced. It's going to be its second replacement. But I haven't had any problems with the Mini yet. It's also an M1, so I don't know. I don't know if it's actually the M1 range that has issues. I don't know what it is, but it'd be just my luck, I go and fork out thousands of dollars for something that's one of the worst in the range. So we shall see. Share this tab instead and put that on the screen for you guys. All right, so I'm assuming everyone got the audio fine, that you weren't just looking at a logo staring at you for 3.5 minutes doing nothing. Is she the female? while appertaining in and apparitioning in and out of the Sallyport video. No, I think that was actually Chief, whatever her frickin' name is. It's fallen out of my head. What is her name again? Where the hell did that go? I'm sure that Rafferty, thank you, Kev. Supermod in the background here. Yes. I think that was Chief Rafferty, because if you remember, Deva testified. That was very early in the piece, and it was Higgy and Berkowitz. But when that female apparition appeared in and out of there, that was Proctor and Bequacky, right? Auntie Bev says, yes, we can hear you. Good, good, good. I was more worried about whether you could hear what I was playing on the stream. Had a little routing issue just a moment ago. That's the other bloody thing about Apple Mac. You can't just, nothing's fucking easy. You can't, it doesn't just like play all your audio through your sound card like it does on Windows. So in Windows, doesn't matter if you run OBS or Restream or whatever, you don't have to fuck around with your audio. But if you want to do OBS and all that fancy shit, you have to have a virtual audio to sort of route everything into one point and then feed that point into your OBS. It's a pain in the freaking ass. Anyway, hopefully we will be transforming away from Restream's limitations when you hear me swearing because Restream won't do something. Hopefully we'll be going over to OBS. I spent all day setting up OBS yesterday and then ended up deleting it all and starting from scratch because it doesn't do, well, Apple Mac doesn't like to do portable programs, portable apps. Like I need to put it on external solid state drive, and it's not cooperating. Macs don't like that shit. Some things it's actually pretty good with, and other things it's like, meh, it's got to be in the applications. All right, so Mac Minis don't have a lot of memory on them, so getting way off track here. How could she have created that detailed false memory? Who convinced her it was a false memory? I'm going to say the commander. Why does she say media influenced her when that video was never in the media? I have questions. I do too. I do too, Taillight Fairy. So there's a few more people have joined us. Hi, Taillight. Hi, Eddie. Hello, Hidden Med Data. Who else is here that I haven't said? Pepster. Sorry, this screen's a bit weird. I'm used to reading the other screen, so if I trip up today and read someone's names wrong, I apologize in advance. And Boda Bob. Alan Jackson's Pregnant Pause. Who have I? Joanna. Dialing in from the lovely state of Massachusetts. Flamingo Chicky. Flaming O Chicky. Oh my God. I'm struggling. So Steve is Pepster. Yep, that's right. Thank you. All right, so let's tune in once more with I don't know if you guys have watched like 100 streams and watched this testimony over and over again, but I want to watch it again just see if I come to the same conclusion at the other end. And it's weird because the jury doesn't get this opportunity to replay and re-listen 3 times for Kev. Well, I won't go too far through. It certainly won't go through Hankey's Cross. But I just wanted to revisit what Alan Jackson asked her because I feel like there's this discrepancy there because we now know that the vehicle was towed in to the Sallyport somewhere between 4:15 and 4:30, I think that. Therefore, her memory actually could have been spot on. But if they showed her fake timestamps, then they could have convinced her that her memory wasn't spot on. So and I'm tone deaf myself down on how much I glad you come here. One thing you will find is that I don't necessarily double down if I think I'm wrong or someone has shown me something else. I will backtrack and say sorry. And then give you the right information. But I'm still human. I still make mistakes like everybody. So dig into it. Let's see what
And you'll hear it at the end of the case as well. Before you consider any electronic communication in your deliberations.
You're supposed to be able to get the court during the case now and hear the truth, the whole truth, and
go.
You're familiar with the case that's presently before the bench, correct?
No, never heard of it. Don't know what you're talking
In
about.
some capacity, yes.
Commonwealth versus Karen Reed.
Yes.
All right. Did you ever prepare any kind of report based on any of your conduct or your connection with this case?
Hi,
if there was any
Haley.
connection with this case
Hi,
while you
Nate.
were a Canton police officer?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Canton Police Department in furtherance of their investigation related to the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Let me finish the question. I got to finish the question, then you can answer. It works a little better that way. Were you ever interviewed by any member of the Massachusetts State Police in furtherance of their investigation into the death of John O'Keefe?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by either the Canton Police Department or the Massachusetts State Police with regard to any of your observations on January 28th or January 29th, 2022?
No.
And you never wrote a report about your observations or any observations that you had on January 28th or January 29th, 2022, correct?
No.
That was a double negative. Let me try that a different way. Did you ever write a report about your observations?
No, she didn't write any
related to
reports.
Page of that report. Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Up with all the blinking of her eyes. Like the ME, right? Closes
Do
her
you have that
eyes.
date in mind?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that it was August 9th, 2023?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention, Officer Dever, to January 28th, 2022. Where were you working? What was your duty assignment on that day, January 28th, moving into January 29th?
Well, 3.5 years later, I remember I was on patrol. I don't remember anything further about this night.
Did you work overnight, like a late shift going into the morning of January 29th?
Wait.
That was my assigned shift, so yes.
Okay. Who else was?
Wait a minute. 3.5 years later, I remember I wasn't actually working. What? If you were asked closer to the time, memory be better. Now 3.5 years later, you remember what? Something else? You were working some other shift?
Was working with you on that particular day, if you recall?
Sergeant Good, Officer Mullaney, Officer Seraph, and Officer Pasquarelli.
And what generally was your assignment when you went into work that night on January 28th?
Patrol.
At some point, either that evening or the early morning hours of January 29th, did you note that a call came in related to a person found in the snow, unresponsive in the snow?
Yes.
Tell me about that, the nature of the call, and where were you?
I was in my cruiser. A call came in that said person in a snowbank, something along those lines. Immediately followed by that transmission, my sergeant requested that I come to take over dispatch.
Is that Sergeant Good?
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, respond back to Canton PD to take over dispatch?
Yes, so I was already in the parking lot of the Canton Police while this took place, so I was already at the station.
Did you know whether or not Sergeant Good and or any of the others responded to the location while you stayed back to handle dispatch at the police department?
Yes, that's why I went inside so he could respond.
Were you aware that Sergeant Good, did you have any knowledge at that time that Sergeant Good was familiar with or knew who Brian Albert was?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you know who Brian Albert was at
No.
that time?
No.
Do you now? At least
Because of
familiar
this
with the
case,
name?
yes.
I spoke over you. I'm so sorry. Based on this case, are you familiar with the name?
The name, yes.
Did you know
Absolutely, they threatened her, or they gave her a pay rise, or a bit of both. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that she was threatened and or pay rised and or says it in her testimony. So
Kevin Albert?
No. Oh, the detective Kevin Albert. Yes, I did.
Correct. How did you know Kevin Albert?
He was a detective for the Canton Police.
Were you aware of his relationship to Brian Albert at that time?
No.
Are you now aware of his relationship with Brian Albert?
Yes, from the media.
And what is that relationship as you know it?
Sustained.
Did you know Brian Higgins at that time?
Yes, in passing.
I'm not asking if you're social friends, asking if you knew who he was.
Yes.
How'd you know who Brian Higgins was?
He had an office in the Canton Police.
Was he a sworn police officer?
Not for us.
Was he a sworn federal agent?
Yes.
Worked for ATF?
Yes.
Okay. How long had you known and been familiar with Brian Higgins? Say, for instance, by sight, to be able to recognize who he was.
Sometime during 2020 is when I was probably first familiarized with him, because that's when I was employed with the Canton Police Department first.
Okay. Pass him in the hallways, hi, bye, things like that.
Yes.
Sustained is to form, Mr. Jackson.
Understood. Did you know him by sight?
Yes.
Could you recognize him if you saw him?
2.5 years later, no, but at the time, yes.
I'm not asking you about right now. I'm asking you back in January 2022. Could you recognize him by sight?
Yes.
Did you know who Kenneth Berkowitz was?
Yes.
Who is Kenneth Berkowitz?
He was the chief of the Canton Police.
Obviously very familiar with him. He was your boss, correct?
Yes.
When Sergeant Good instructed you to take over dispatch, explain what that meant.
It meant I walked inside and I sat down in a dispatch room.
Describe the dispatch room. What did that array look like?
There was chairs and computers.
Monitors?
Yes.
Does the dispatch area also have monitors of internal security camera footage?
I know there was.
hey, here's a question because yeah. Hola, am I back? Sorry, I dropped out for a second. The question I was asking before I dropped out, yeah, it was a signal issue. If I drop out, Kevin, you have to stay here to keep the live alive. Yeah, apologies. I don't have cloud cover today, so I'm not quite sure why the drop is happening. Am I back on again? I'm back. Okay. Did they play the audio from her dispatch? Because I have that audio. Well, that audio is actually on X. Kevin, can you do a searchy? Find the audio, the dispatch audio of her saying 32 Fairview. You know what I'm talking about? When you find it, I'll pop it up on the screen. And have a listen to it. So, because I don't know if he played it today. But what he's talking about here is, are you aware that's recorded? So clearly she is.
Camera screens, but I don't know if they were on TVs or computers or where in dispatch they were. I don't recollect where they were or how they would be accessed. They were in the room somewhere. I can't be more specific. I don't remember.
But you do recall seeing that there were monitors that were used of internal security camera footage of Canton PD, correct?
The specifics, no. Were there? Yes.
I don't know what you mean by specifics. I'm asking you, were there monitors that you could look at that showed security camera footage from inside Canton PD, different areas, hallways, corridors, offices, the Sally Port, for instance?
So 2.5 years since I've...
You keep saying 2.5 years later.
So let her finish her answer and then ask a question.
Just
Sure.
answer the
It's been years
question.
since I've been in that room. They were somewhere in the room. Where cameras were in the Canton Police Department, I don't recall. The media's provided me information since this case took place, and I can't speak on what's my recollection and what's been media provided. There are cameras. I don't know where on my memory where they are.
So has the media informed you that there were internal security monitors at the dispatch location?
So the objection is sustained. Next question.
What do you recall from the dispatch room, as you put it? What do you recall being there in terms of monitors?
I remember there was a computer screen that had information about current calls, and then there was a 911 screen next to that. Those are the two computers that I would have been positioned in front of during this time.
As a dispatch officer, by the way, you were a sworn officer at
Yes.
that time, correct? Uniform, badge, gun, the whole works, right?
Yes.
Had you ever been in Sallyport at Canton PD?
Yes.
Kev, I found it.
What's the Sallyport?
I found it, Kev. Let's switch over to it and have a listen before we go on. Wait 1 second. Backseat juror. This is what we did have. I think it was trial 1.0 this came out, but anyway.
Canton Police Officer Devin Klein's recording.
Kelly, it's Paul. What's the address of that scene? Is it by his house or is it on Fairview? Because Lieutenant's asking me what's going on Fairview.
It's 32 Fairview Road.
It's not even his house. Perfect. All right, I'm on my way. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Not even his house. Want to hear it again? So here's the thing. We heard Jen McCabe's phone call to 911. She said multiple times to multiple dispatchers that it was 34 Fairview. That's my recollection. But it's been 2 years since I heard this dispatch. So perhaps I got a better memory than her, says the person who can't remember the fucking chief's name after 24 hours. So, yeah, it's not even his house. Whose house? Who was he referring to? Was he referring to advising chief at the time across the road? Or was he referring to Brian Albert's house? He just said he. It's not even his house. So, interesting, right? So, let's just listen to it one more time.
Canton Police Officer Devin Klein's recording.
Kelly, it's Paul. What's the address of that scene? Is it by his house or is it on Fairview? Because Lieutenant's asking me what's going on Fairview.
It's 32 Fairview Road.
It's not even his house. Perfect. All right, I'm on my way.
Not even his house. Perfect. So, Lieutenant Gallagher, Paul Gallagher, and sorry, that was Paul Gallagher, and the lieutenant's asking him, entered 32 Fair Road when he took that goodie. Found it, Kevy. Found the dispatch audio. You must have been dispatch audio. Thank you, Kevy. You must have been muted. So interesting, right? Let's go back and listen to what else.
A Sallyport is a garage, essentially.
Okay. You're aware that the Sallyport garage had a camera, a security camera?
It would make sense because that's where we bring prisoners to drop them off.
Well, more than just makes sense. I'm asking you, do you recall that it had cameras that serviced the Sallyport garage? Security cameras.
It's where we brought prisoners, so there would be cameras, yes.
Okay, you're saying there would be cameras. I'm asking you, were there cameras?
According to the media, yes. I've seen the footage, so yes, there were cameras.
All right, so hold on. So I'm going to strike that, officer. You have to answer the question based on your own independent knowledge, okay? And if you don't have them, tell us. But you can't reference what you know from the media.
Wow.
All right.
From what I understand, the monitors are in the dispatch room, aren't they? Or am I just getting that from rumor? I thought some of the monitors were in the dispatch room. How they keep themselves safe at dispatch room by themselves. I feel like there's more lies here.
There were cameras in the Sallyport.
Thank you. Ms. Dever, do you want to be here today?
I have no relation to this case,
I
so
didn't ask you that. I asked you if you want to be here today.
Objection. This isn't direct.
So it's your witness.
I understand.
She can, no comments, just questions. Not, I understand that.
Thank you,
Do you want to
Joanna.
be here today now?
Got that too.
I am put on the stand in a murder trial. I don't know why I'm here. I have no connection to this case.
You have no idea why you're here?
You've never talked to me. Nobody on the fence seems to talk to me since prior to the first trial. So I don't have any idea why I'm here.
No clue whatsoever, as you sit here, why you might have been called to the stand.
No.
Are you uncomfortable testifying?
No, it's part of my job.
You're a professional police officer, correct?
No, I'm just a
Correct.
bitch
That
normally.
means you're a professional witness to a certain degree, correct?
In the crimes that I've gone on the stand before, yes, I have been.
And you understand the oath?
Yes, I do.
What is that oath?
The oath is to tell the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, correct?
Objection.
Oh, Perry.
Is there more to that oath when you raise your right hand as a witness?
I'm objecting.
So I'm going to see it sidebar for just a
Sure.
It was the dude across the street a lieutenant? Yeah, the lieutenant wants to know, so. Yeah, who the dude across the street was. I know he was acting chief or something at the time. Something
Of
along
the
those lines.
cameras, one of the monitors that you had access to back on January 29th did show the footage from, or did it show the footage from that, one of the other Sallyport garage cameras?
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure, it was a little bit clunky on my part. Did one of the monitors that you looked at, that you had access to at the dispatch area, did it show the video footage or the video feed from the Sallyport garage?
So I already said I don't remember where in dispatch the screen with the cameras was. There was a camera in the Sally Port.
Wait, I don't remember.
If I'm
I don't remember where the cameras were in dispatch. Got monitors in dispatch, not cameras. She would have the monitors up on the wall over her freaking head for all of the different parts, wouldn't she?
going to make the assumption, then yes, of course. But now that's an assumption.
I'm not asking you for an assumption.
Thanks,
Okay?
Eddie.
I'm asking
Edie,
you, did one of the
did it
feeds-
again.
Now, we're talking about the camera. The other side of the camera is the feed. Do you recall whether or not there was footage that you could see on a monitor in the dispatch area that showed the Sally Port?
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
My clarification.
How long?
So, I don't know what that means. So what do you mean you're going to go with yes? Is your answer yes?
Thanks, Edie. It was Kelleher. The lieutenant at the time, was he? Deputy
Yes.
chief, but he
Thank
was the
you.
lieutenant.
What
Not a
time
lieutenant.
about did you take over the dispatch desk that morning?
Immediately following when the 911 call came in.
Would have been 6-ish in the morning. Does that sound about right?
LB!
Sometime, I would say towards the later of my shift, but it was the middle of winter and dark out, so I don't know if it was 4, 5, 6.
Understood. But it was still dark out.
Yes,
Once you took over the dispatch desk, did you stay there even past your normal shift ending to support the investigation that was ongoing?
not to support the investigation. I was just on overtime.
Okay. So you stayed past your normal end time of your shift that day.
Yes, on overtime.
You stayed into the afternoon, correct?
I believe the shift ended at 3:45 p.m. for the Canton Police.
But you stayed past your ending shift time, correct?
Objection.
I'm sorry, I'll rephrase it. Did you stay past your ending shift time?
For my regular shift, yes, because I was on overtime on the day shift.
Did you observe anything unusual that stood out in your mind that occurred, pardon me, in the Sally Port while you were on that shift?
So we've discussed this previously. I can't make that statement on the stand because I've been provided information released by the defense that it was not a memory, that it was a distorted memory. Therefore, I can't state it because at this point it would be a lie. I cannot make that statement that you're wanting me to make on the stand because I've
Which
advised
is it, lady?
that
A
that would be
distorted
lie.
memory or a lie?
Ms. Dever, I've never asked you to make a statement one way or the other on the stand. I'm asking you an open-ended question.
Okay,
Did
so
you,
prior
let
to
me
the
ask you a
first,
question. Did you observe something in the Sallyport garage on January 29th, 2022 that you found unusual, that stuck out in your mind?
given factual information that makes it so I know I did not, no.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Do you remember being interviewed on August 9th, 2023?
Did you or did you not? Am I muted? No. Did you or did you not look at the Sallyport camera from the dispatch office and see these two guys in a Sallyport? Forget about the timing. Did you see it or did you not? I got the time wrong, but did you see it or did you not?
I do.
That was by a separate law enforcement agency, correct?
Yes.
Two separate law enforcement agents, is that right?
Yes.
And you were advised during the course of that interview on August 29th of something, correct?
Can you rephrase
I'm sorry,
that?
August 9th.
So what was I advised of? Can you rephrase that?
Sure. Were you advised that lying to those officers would be a crime?
So it was a willing conversation. I've spoken with their legal team because of the fact I was providing factual information.
I spoke with their legal team. My God, there's so much in a whole freaking sentence there. My brain's just doing backflips right now. But she's a police officer and she doesn't know that it's a felony to lie to the FBI. Two,
That showed a statement of mine was a false memory. It was not a lie. Therefore, I made it in good faith, and I retracted given information that it could not be accurate.
Ms. Dever, did you understand my question?
Yes, I did. You threatened to charge me with perjury during our phone call prior to the first trial if I didn't lie on the stand right now. I'm telling you, I did not see anything. Factually, I've been provided evidence by a timeline that it is not correct.
Ms. Dever, my question was this. Were you advised it was a crime to lie to those law enforcement agents? Yes or no?
No.
They never told you, they never admonished you that it would be a crime to lie to them?
Objection.
Sustained. As to form, Mr. Jackson.
Sure. Did they advise you of anything? Any consequences of lying to them?
So we had a willing conversation.
Yes or no?
I don't recall.
It was a crime to lie to those law enforcement agents?
right?
Yes or no?
Oh, that's Tracy
No.
having trouble,
They
not
don't-
me. We're watching
They never
Tracy's
admonished you that it would be a crime to lie to
stream.
them? To other law enforcement agents?
When you have intent to lie, yes.
Okay. So you knew that when you spoke to these law enforcement officers, correct?
Yes.
Did you tell these law enforcement officers that you, in fact, saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sallyport with the
Objection.
SUV? May I finish my question?
You can finish this question. It's okay. Go ahead.
Did you tell those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023, that you saw Brian Higgins and Chief Berkowitz go into the Sallyport together and alone with the SUV for a wildly long time?
How did
That was
you
my
see
recollection
them?
at the
If
time.
not
So you did
on
say
the
that.
monitor.
At the time, that is what I recollected.
Okay.
Let's get one thing straight. AJ didn't threaten her with perjury. He did the same thing that he did with Kerry and Jen. And he said, did you know that it's perjury if you lie to them? He didn't threaten her outright because he doesn't have any standing to charge her with perjury, as Hanky Panky points out a little bit later. But interesting, right? First trial, I thought there was too much reasonable doubt, but now I am convinced Karen Reid is innocent completely. Commonwealth did it. Tracy. Earlier, she said Jackson never spoken to her, but now threatened her with perjury, right? Talking about two different times, but
Did you indicate that you noted Let me have just a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
good on you, Halo.
You and I spoke, along with Mr. Unetti and Ms. Little, on a conference call last year sometime. You remember that?
Yes.
Between the time that you were interviewed on August 9th, 2023, and when we
What time is actually up for debate, because we think they faked the timestamps on the Sallyport footage. We know that the Lexus was picked up at 3 something. I think it was like 3:50. Can't remember off the top of my head. And it's a 40-minute drive from Dighton to Canton. So it arrived there before 4. Or at worst, if the driver stopped for a coffee break or whatever, then it arrived there sometime at 4, between 4 and 4:30. At the most, that's sort of my guesstimation, just working off driving times. He's towing Alexis, it's late in the evening. There's probably not a lot of traffic, but he is going slower because of the snow, etc. So yeah, that's just what I sort of guessed. So somewhere between 4 and 4:30 is the arrival time, maybe even a little earlier. But in the Sallyport footage that we all watched, it says 5:30. So there's an hour difference there. So this is a good question. What time did she see all this? What time did she tell the federal agents when she saw all of this? And did she see them personally walk in there to the Sallyport, or did she see them on the monitor? She's not being forthcoming as to how she actually saw them.
So sometime in maybe it was April or so of last year. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with any other party about your potential involvement in this case?
No.
Did you have a conversation with anybody in the commissioner's office at Boston Police Department?
He never
Not
was.
about anything malicious.
I didn't use the word malicious. Why do you say malicious?
I had a conversation, but
That's a Jennifer McCabe moment.
it was my department saying, regardless of what I need to say on the stand, they support me.
You were asked to go to the commissioner's office, correct?
Yes.
How long had you been on the Boston Police Department at the time that you were invited to go up to the Commissioner Michael Cox's office?
Wow, the police commissioner.
It had to have been before the first trial, so, and I know it was when the agency released information to outside people.
That's not my question.
Okay, so I don't recall.
Okay. You don't recall how long you had been on the force, generally, at the time that you were called up to the Commissioner's office, on the Boston Police Department?
No.
Was it 5 years, 2 years, 2 months? Give me a ballpark.
So I've been on the department for 2 years and 2 months. I would say somewhere in the range of a year.
Okay. Did you find it unusual would you call yourself a rookie back then?
Yes.
Did you find it unusual?
Maybe it was that missing 40 minutes that helped her change her mind what she saw.
That a rookie police officer would be called up to the commissioner's office personally to discuss a matter?
It was a reflection of how good of a leader he is. It was not anything that I found unusual, given the fact he is someone who wanted to show support for his officer.
So I'm guessing all of your training class or all of your entry classes at Boston PD, they've all gone up to the commissioner's office as well?
I don't know anyone else who's been in this particular circumstance.
Do you know anybody else who's been called up to the commissioner's office at your level at the Boston Police Department?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you know of any of your colleagues with your level of experience that have been called up to the commissioner's office for a specific instance?
Objection.
That's sustained.
Now,
Clearly
when
that
you
would
went
be
to the
hearsay.
commissioner's office, did you respond to his indication that he wanted to see you up in his office?
It wasn't a direct line of contact from him.
Okay. Did you respond? Did you ultimately go? That's what I mean by respond. Did you go to his office?
He's my boss, so yes.
Okay. And who else
Good
was in
point.
that office?
No matter what she said on the
Me?
stand, they were going to support
him?
her.
The two of us?
General counsel for the Boston Police Department?
No, it's just me and him.
The conversation that we had last year, did you say that general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department was also there?
Objection.
Not during that
Sustained.
conversation.
Objection.
Next question.
Sure. Was there another time that you went to the commissioner's office where general legal counsel was there?
No.
Have you ever met general legal counsel for the Boston Police Department?
Yes.
Was it in the commissioner's office?
No.
When was it?
During my conversation with the agents.
You took a lawyer with you to talk to this other law enforcement agency?
I'm going to
Objection.
see you at sidebar on this.
I was waiting to see if she says the feds. Actually say the feds.
Off, I was asking you about the meeting at the commissioner's office, and I want to clear this up. was general legal counsel in that office or not when you had a meeting with the commissioner, Michael Cox?
No, it was just me and the commissioner.
At some point, did the commissioner say to you that Boston Police Department, insofar as your connection to this case is concerned, Boston Police Department fully supports you?
Yes.
Did he also say, do the right thing?
That's a direct quote, so I can't recollect if he said a direct
That's what
quote
I was thinking.
2 years ago.
A year ago, when you talked to us, the defense, did you tell the defense that when you were called up to the commissioner's office, he told you two things? Commissioner Cox told you, number one, Boston Police Department supports you, and Officer Deaver, do the right thing.
So he said my name correctly. He said Dever, and
That's my mistake. Let's see, let me repeat the question so I get
So,
that right.
Mr. Jackson, let's go ahead and answer.
That
please.
completely
Yes,
changes
and-
the question.
he said nothing with the intent of guiding me one way or
I
the
didn't ask you
other.
what his intent was, madam. I asked you what he said to you. What were his words to you?
Madam,
That he supports me.
And
Just wanted me to tell the truth up here.
his words were, do the right thing. Correct?
and we'll give you a pay
I
rise.
don't recall.
How about that?
How many other times have you testified in a court of law? During the course of your job?
Two dozen, 3 dozen.
And
Actually testified probably ballpark a dozen times.
in any of those other cases, has Commissioner Michael Cox called you up to his office to discuss your testimony in any of those cases? Yes or no?
That's not a yes or a no answer.
Well, yes, it actually is, Ms. Dever.
So no comments, okay? Just,
You understand the question?
The question, yes. The implication,
The question is, in any of those, I'm asking you an open-ended question. In any of those cases, Officer Dever, not including this one, has Commissioner Michael Cox ordered you up to his office to discuss your testimony?
no.
Thank you.
Exactly, Perry. One-on-one support
all right, Mr. Brennan?
that Officer O'Keefe obviously didn't get. I'm gonna ignore Brennan because he talks a lot of shit. But I'm pretty sure AJ gets up for a recross.
There is
Find it.
discomfort.
Thank you for your time.
May we approach briefly?
Yes.
In the end, it's going to go through the court system, so the district attorney, the ADAs, that's who pursues it in a court
Right.
setting.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge anybody with a crime?
So you can seek out reporting someone for it.
Have you ever seen a defense attorney charge someone with a crime, ma'am?
Good point, Halo.
Personally,
Very
no.
good point.
Right. Fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did, yes,
That's it.
because
That's
I
it.
contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh, did you?
I did.
You have a report?
I have an email conversation where I sent the 2 questions I had. She responded, I will pass these along. I was contacted by their legal team. They reassured me perjury was not applicable because I made a statement in good faith. Upon further information, I retracted it, corrected it, and made it clear that I could no longer say it because I knew that it was not a clear reflection of the events that took place.
That's a mouthful.
Yes.
My question is, do you have a report from the FBI saying that you reported that someone on the Karen Reed defense team threatened to charge you, your words, with perjury? You have a
No.
report to that effect?
No.
No.
Exactly. No evidence, just you accusing.
Your job as a police officer is to
Tell the freaking truth.
be objective, isn't it?
Yes.
You're not supposed to take an adversarial position against one side or the other, correct?
I don't.
Just right down the middle, just the facts, as you noted, correct?
Yes.
You feel like you're being unbiased in your testimony here today in front of these jurors?
I'm telling the truth.
You think you're being fair to both sides?
All I have to do is tell the truth. If it's not perceived to be fair, that's someone else's opinion.
Let's talk about that truth for a second. What you told those law enforcement agents on August 9th, 2023
I like this.
was,
Agents, agents.
quote, you
Hope the
recalled
jury's
seeing
got the
Higgins
message.
at the station later that day on Saturday. Dever thought it was also weird that Higgins and Chief Kenny Berkowitz were by themselves in the Sallyport of the police department, by themselves while Karen Reed's car was parked inside. Higgins was a witness and present at the gathering where O'Keefe was found dead outside, and then he was in the presence of important evidence. You were sitting at dispatch by yourself and saw on the camera outside of the Sallyport when they walked in.
Objection to the entire reading.
So beyond the scope, so you have to keep it.
There's more to the statement, Your Honor. Do you remember making that statement to the officers?
My recollection of the time was that, so yes.
Okay, great. Did you go on to say, speaking of being truthful, did you go on to say,
I'm objecting.
All right, so you have to ask differently, but I need to see you for a minute with this and bring that with you, please.
Go to the OnlyFan again. Technically telling the truth, right, Pia? Hey, unbronzed Aussie Laura, I am doing great. How are you? FBI gave a lot of evidence to the defense and the prosecution just before. Correct. Hopefully we don't have any sidebars. I need to just put this on mute for 1 second and visit the ladies' room, but I'll be back.
may I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. Officer Dever, did you go on to say in that interview, quote, you never saw them leave, them being Brian Higgins and Chief Ken Berkowitz. You never saw them leave, but you recalled thinking to yourself that they were in the Sallyport for a wildly long time together in there, end quote. Did you say that?
That was my recollection at the time.
Okay.
So yes.
Have you ever heard of by the way, you indicated under questioning by Mr. Brennan that you knew what they wanted from me, meaning the defense, what they wanted from me. You
Yes.
understand that?
Yes.
Do you remember on that phone call that we read directly from the exact same report that I just read from? You remember that?
And I told you the same thing then.
That's not
Yes.
my question.
Objection.
Sustained.
My question is, just answer my question, Officer Dever. Did we read to you, were you read the exact same thing that I just read to you on that phone call?
Like you can't remember my name, I don't remember.
I can remember your name, Miss Dever.
Okay, so the answer is I don't remember. No
The answer is
comments.
more than that, Judge. I think we all...
All right, so
I'll ask
no
you-
comments, just questions, please.
Shut up with the comments, AJ.
Do you recall us telling you
Don't
that
like
we were looking for the truth about your
Objection.
comments?
I'm going to allow it.
That we were looking for the truth.
Which I gave you, yes.
Did you also say on that phone call something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one because I'm changing my testimony?
Changing, no. But you're trying to do that.
Did you say, I know you're going to tear me a new one?
Yet you are changing
What
your
you're trying to do, so
testimony.
yes.
Actually, what you said was, you're going to tear me a new asshole, didn't you?
I don't recall that, so that's putting words in my mouth.
I'm not asking you to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you if you remember saying that during that phone call. Oh,
I don't
I know
recall.
you're going to tear me a new asshole.
I don't recall.
Okay. But you do remember saying something to the effect of, I know you're going to tear me a new one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called the blue wall of silence?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you think it's important for police officers to protect one another in the field and out?
Objection.
Sustained.
Have you spoken with anyone, not Mr. Brennan, he's covered that. Have you spoken with anyone from the district attorney's office about your involvement in this case? Ever?
No.
Never?
Unless you're going to provide a person. I've never talked to any of these people.
Have you talked to anyone at the DA's office at all, in any regard?
Not to my recollection.
How about indirectly?
Not to my knowledge.
Are you friends with any people that you're aware of that are connected to this case? Are you personal friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, personal friends with anyone that's connected with this case?
Other people who's been on the witness stand, one person, yes.
Who's that?
Sarah Levinson.
How long have you known Sarah?
Tell us about
We became
Sarah.
friends in middle school.
Did you watch any of the trial, this trial?
Clips in passing, but no, it's 6 hours a day. So I work during the day shift, no.
So you've seen some of the footage of the goings-on in this case, correct?
Yes, nothing with her. I did not watch her testimony.
Were you aware there was a sequestration order?
I don't know what that means, so no.
You're a sworn peace officer. You don't know what sequestration means
No.
in terms of witnesses?
No.
Not watching the proceedings in order to affect their testimony?
No, I wasn't aware.
But you did tune in to the case, correct?
In small clips, yes.
And you did, in fact, on August 9th, 2023, have a fulsome conversation with two sworn police officers about your memory of what you saw, your observations on January 29th, 2022, correct?
Me too, Tess, and I'm not even in
I don't know if
America.
they're police officers necessarily, but yes.
Law enforcement agents, how about that?
Yes.
And that conversation is reflected in this piece of paper that I just read to you, correct?
Yes.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Okay.
Interesting. So that cleared up nothing.
Were you subpoenaed by contact anybody?
No.
Double
All right,
check.
Officer Devlin, you are awesome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You are all set. Okay, so that cleared up nothing. So the question I was asking previously was, is she talking about later on in the night in a shift, or is she talking about the 5:30? I thought it was a 5:30 p.m. She's saying that she saw it. Higgy and Berkowitz, I think it was, in this Sally Port for an unusual amount of time, but that cleared up nothing. nothing clarifying in there about what time she saw this. So that's why I wanted to watch it again, just to clarify, what timing was. Because she can say, well, it wasn't at that time, so therefore it couldn't have been a correct memory. Or she could say the times were different. Therefore, it might have been earlier, it might have been later. So that clarified nothing, whether it was earlier or later, or whether she's actually retracting her memory altogether that she didn't see them in the Sally Port at all. Very shady indeed. So that was an interesting exercise. We are absolutely freaking nowhere. Kevy has given me a post by Olivia, which I think is interesting. Astute post. Data analyst as well. Oh, hang on, combat analyst. Pence calls ex-Canton police officer and current Boston police officer Kelly Dever to the stand. She demonstrates exactly why the defense is allowed to bring federal investigation in at trial. Bam! Exactly, Olivia. It couldn't be more apparent that she's being evasive and dishonest on the stand, and it seems like the reason for that could be due to intimidation. Be the thin blue line, the fear of losing a job, or even the pay rise, 65% pay rise she just got. Just two examples already. When put on the spot, she made to answer the question, she backtracks and gives a different answer than her original answer, thus indicating she wasn't being truthful. Why people don't trust cops, how unfortunate the effect this type of behaviour has, as it reflects upon all police officers, including the good ones. Seems like bringing in the federal investigation has become even more relevant, as it would as even more relevant than last trial, as it would explain to the jury, as it's probably been made clear to people watching who know of the feds, why this witness's testimony to the feds is the most reliable and why she's being evasive now. When she was in front of the feds, she wasn't in a public trial being aired and viewed by the masses, including her police officer colleagues or the Boston PD, both of which might be a source of potential intimidation of pressure to testify in a certain way. Very good commentary by Olivia. Thank you, Olivia. Summation. I'm dropping in and out, am I? Not running out of power. On now? Alright, so it's not the headset, because I got like 85% power here. No, I don't think it's driver issues. I think we have reception issues today, Kevy. I think you're forgetting that I'm on Starlink, and it sometimes kidnaps me altogether. Hang on to the anchor, buddy, because if it's playing up, then it means I'm probably going to get yanked a couple of times today. She would even she wouldn't even acknowledge, that's right. Camera is played on the monitors in the dispatch room, right? She knows it's her job to know, right? Not only is it her job, it's also her safety. She's the one who's sitting in the dispatch room at all hours of the night, right? Dark. Things for everyone else. So There you go. Um, all right, moving along. I got nothing else. So let's pull Kevy up. Let's just get this screen up. He's got a bunch of stuff to chat, which is, probably all off topic, but we're happy to do that. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are we there yet?
Hello.
Hello.
I've only one thing off topic. Really, I want to start with that. It's Sandra Birchmore. I just want to give a shout out to Mizzy on our channel. There's a standout coming up for Sandra Birchmore. I'll give you the link there now. You can put it up.
Know if Miss Diva has testified in another criminal case that ended that in front of the jury. So Joe is gone. Your audio.
Yeah, it's dropping in and out. It's
might be at your end.
It's bad at times, but have you tried maybe turning it off and turning on your headset again just to get it to reconnect?
At your end, everyone else is fine.
Is everybody else hearing her okay with no sound dropouts?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Bubbles bubbling. You sound fine for me, Aussie. Hear you just fine over here in New York City. Wait, might be at your end. I can't hear what you're hearing, so let's.
It doesn't sound like it because I'm still hearing the audio from the stream, from the videos and that you're showing, but when you're talking, it's dropping in and out. So. Anyway, we'll go ahead. Do you want to put that link up there? Where is it here? Hold on a second.
Yes, I thought I copied it. You've actually messed the link up.
Yeah, of course I have. There you go. Try that.
And then somehow I've got something else on the frickin' pasteboard. Page doesn't exist. I know what you did. You gave me the wrong link again.
Hold on a second. No,
right, I got it. Oops.
Copy link. Hold on
Got
a
it.
second.
I got it. It's okay.
You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh, okay. The AIN at the end. I see it now. I'm going to throw a link up to her YouTube channel and chat there. If everybody could go over and show her a little bit of love. She's been following this case from the very beginning. With the grand jury going for the last couple of weeks, I think things are going to start taking off with this case very soon.
Oh no, I am getting kidnapped. Not just you. Oh no.
Yeah, see, I figured it wasn't me. And
apologize. I did have a notable dropout at this end. I saw a message on the screen saying we have Starlink freaking issues back. Yay. But hey, we've had like 500 streams in between where we've had no Starlink issues too, so. Stand out for, whoops. Oh. This is the standout for Sandra Birchmore. Do you want to do the intro and the dates? Because I'm dropping out.
Yeah, I can do. Well, it's on the screen, so call to action to end the corruption at the Norfolk DA's office. You just took it off the screen. Thursday, June 12th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. People want to join. I'm just putting the link up in chat here now for people to go across to YouTube.
So for some people the sound is fine, and for other people it's not. So I don't know what the freaking hell's going on.
I'd say some people don't notice it. They probably think it's just you not talking.
All right. Well, I apologize. As I said at the start of the stream, I'm testing out new equipment. I had to screw around with a bunch of shit because the Mac Mini's got nothing. It's got no screen, no keyboard, no camera, no mic, no nothing. So it does have a speaker, which I was very surprised about. That blew me away. That it actually does have a speaker on. Ozzy, have you seen
Yeah.
Karen's clip with the press today?
I think turning off your headset and restarting it might solve the issue, at least
All right,
temporarily.
turning it off now and restarting it. Was yours.
Okay, where am I here now? Yeah, so if you could all just go across this to Mizzy's channel there, give her a bit of support, even just maybe subscribe, give her a like. She's been working
Okay.
on herself promoting Sandra Birch more. Yeah, you're back.
We're rebooted. I don't think it's going to make much difference because a link.
No, it's just happened again.
Starlink.
But
Starlink.
there's no issue with the video, which is strange because audio.
It's the Starlink. Sorry, but it is. Troubles with it from the start. So you joined and came in sort of after I already had gone through a couple of streams where I got kidnapped every freaking stream for at least 10 seconds. It's actually not too bad if it's only a couple of seconds here and there. That's actually good.
When those issues,
for this.
when those issues were happening, it was affecting the video as well.
Correct. Well,
The video
I wasn't cutting in and out during the video. Well, there was one bit where I did for a couple of seconds. Trust me, Kevin, I know it's the Starlink.
Yeah, okay. Trust it. Okay.
They do it to us all the time.
Right, well, that was Sandra Birchmore, so that's that out of the way. Howie Carr did a hard-hitting piece there where he didn't pull any punches. And the headline is Norfolk County and its white trash grifter leaders. I don't think you can get more hard-hitting than that.
Howie's feedback has been awesome way through this, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to throw that up or maybe just leave it at that. Do you want the link?
Currently has it live.
This is a written piece. This is a published piece in the Boston Herald.
FBI is in the house, finally. Fox's wink, wink, nudge, nudge admonition. Alan Jackson asked her if he was questioned by Greg Long, the BP hack, who was really running the BPD for years. He always has this background information. So he's saying Greg Long, that's who the lawyer was that they're talking about. He's from Canton, surprise, surprise. His wife is a hack judge in Norfolk County. Funny how false memories work, isn't it? At least in Norfolk County. Everything's on the fritz in Norfolk County, including people's brains.
Do you want to throw it up on screen there? People can see. Drop out.
See it?
Yeah, there you are. There should be a link in there that takes you to the Boston Herald page. You'll just see it far easier.
Hi, Gracie. How's it going? All right. Right, let's read through posts. 60 Minutes is the most corrupt fake news Democrat. Oh, okay, he's doing. Norfolk County and its white trash grifter leaders. We got to read it. Let's do it. Norfolk County Hackerama. The worst thing about the Karen Reid murder trial is that it has exposed to the entire world just how corrupt and rotten the entire enterprise is. Nothing on the level. Everything is everything is a deal, and no deal's too small. It's the wealthiest, probably best educated country in the state, but it's a county in the state. But it's run by a crew of white trash grifters from Quincy. Operate like it's still 1958. And they're in the Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana. Plaquemines. The Plaquemines Parish. Okay. In Louisiana. And all the swells in places like Dover, Brooklyn, Cohasset, Needham, and Wellesley can't be bothered with doing anything about the festering, metastasizing kleptocracy that that they're paying for with their tax dollars. Beautiful people don't need those hack county jobs at President's Golf Course. Hell yeah, they've got way too much money to even think about playing around here. That's for the plebeians. Nobody outside Quincy or Canton ever gave a second thought to Norfolk County government, and that's the way the local hacks wanted it. Out of sight, out of mind, and behind that comes the pension. God, how many people? Someone said earlier, I'd like to see a spreadsheet of who's taken pay rises or pensions, etc. I would like to see that spreadsheet as well. So, but before I read on, why did they not ask the most important question? When did you resign with the Canton PD and become a Boston police officer? I thought that I agree that would have been a great question. I know that's no good, Gracie, but I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're recovering. Good news. Okay, so back to Howie's article. But now the local yokels have gone too far. They're trying to lynch an innocent woman, and they won't take no for an answer. This was a vindictive prosecution that should have never been brought, Karen Reid's attorney Alan Jackson. They say they have done their best. Some would say they've done their worst. The Hacko Ditudi Hacky. Hacko Ditudi Hacky is Meatball Morrissey, the bloated hack Democrat district attorney, a Kamala Harris delegate to the National Convention last year. How much more do you need to know? For his second attempt to railroad Karen Reid, Morrissey has spent $250,000 hiring a defense lawyer named Hank Brennan as his special prosecutor. What's the connection between Morrissey and Brennan? When Morrissey was in the legislature, a servile stooge of Billy Bulger. Dun, dun, dun. The Senate president was known as the corrupt midget. Dun, dun, dun. The corrupt midget. Brennan was likewise a servile Bulger stooge, serving for years as a mouthpiece for serial killer Whitey Bulger, who ran organized crime in Norfolk County for decades. It was a nationwide search, in other words, when Meatball plucked Hank off the waiver wire. Put it another way, one Bulger coat holder hired another to railroad somebody they don't like. Can the Bulgers frame an innocent party in Norfolk County? Ask Freddie Weechel. Back in the day, Weechel was shaping up as a possible threat to Whitey Bulger in the Southie rackets. Soon Weechel was framed for a murder in Braintree that he didn't commit. He spent 36 years in prison before collecting a $15 million last year, collecting $50 million last year for the frame job. Does Karen Reid have Freddie Whiteshall's phone number? If you've been following this second kangaroo court trial, you've already seen a lot of Hank Brennan. Last week, he thundered that the defense has no constitutional right to usurp the rules of evidence. Usurp. No, usurp. Usurp. Brennanese paramedic becomes paramic. Estimate is estimate. Does say a lot of words friggin' backwards, doesn't he? Asked the Canton cop if he tried to receive evidence without unresting the scene. Brennan's fractured English and his obnoxious bullying manner doesn't matter in the same courthouse where they once framed Sarko and Vangetti. The hack judge, Beverly Cannoni, is running cover for him. Oh, God. Stop using all these words that I can't say. She harumphed that she had grave concerns about the defense spending $23,000 of their own money on travel expenses for their crash reconstruction experts. But then last week it was revealed that the prosecution had squandered $400K in public funds on their own shoddy experts, one of whom has been futilely trying to get a bachelor's degree since 2007. Yet the judge had.
Can I just stop you there? There was something interesting came up today just in relation to that. And we can cover it again after this. It's Michael Morrissey was involved in the car crash. And
God, another one.
The crash reconstructionist for Massachusetts police who investigated the crash resigned or retired from the Massachusetts State Police. And where did he end up going to work?
Boston PD.
Nope.
Nope.
Go again.
No, I don't know. I give up.
Aperture.
Up. Of course.
I have loads of dates here, so we can go to it after you finish this story.
Yeah, put a pin in that. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So, yeah, the judge had no grave concerns about that $400K because Norfolk County. On Thursday, when one of Reid's attorneys asked a damning question of the prosecution expert, quote unquote, Bev had to prod her BFF Brennan, who apparently wasn't paying attention. Objection, Mr. Brennan? She prompted her teammate. Could it be any clearer which side she's on? Totally agree. But it's not just the courts in Norfolk County that are rotten to the core. Last week, the former number 3 guy at the county jail, Tom Brady, for that is indeed his name, was indicted by the feds for extortion. Said he was shaking down his underlings for free work in his house in Norwood. What I was talking about last week, they were more worried about a bloody shower. Who fixed a shower? Here's the Brady back history. Always just another townie hack guard working overnights. Then a Democrat named Pat McDermott decided to run for sheriff against the last Republican in Norfolk County, Jerry McDermott. Oh, all these names. Between 2019 and 2022, Brady coughed up $3,200 to McDermott, the Democrat, who defeated McDermott, the Republican, in the finest county. Brady paid double from 70. Brady's pay double from 70 grand to 138 grand. His wife, of course, has her own hack courthouse job because Norfolk County. Jennifer Brady makes 163 whatever a year as chief probation officer at Hingham District Court. The chief in justice in Hingham, Heather Brady, who got her 207K a year job the old-fashioned way after a nationwide search. Her husband was a state rep with Meatball Morrissey. He's since gotten jammed up with the Board of Bar of Overseers over his own legal career. One judge castigated him for his blatant falsehoods, but hey, he's a Democrat, so no problem, right? Right? Hang on. Take over, Kev. He's probably
Sorry, you
AFK.
got me. Yeah, I
Sorry.
was just AFK. I just stepped away for a quick
Just me
second.
choking on my words. It's all right.
That's quite
As,
all right.
as for Brady, a little bit of power he was handed at the jail went straight to his empty head. Soon he was in trouble with the State Ethics Commission. As attorney, he hired one Jonathan C. Rutley, who practices in where else? Canton. Can you take over from there?
Yep.
You can see it all right?
Yeah, I can see it all right. I have the story open here myself. Rutley used to work in, of all places, the Norfolk County DA's office. He was a coat holder for Bill Keating, now a $174,000 a year congressman, while simultaneously pocketing a $111,879 pension from his county job. Double dipping, another Norfolk County tradition. Rutley, meanwhile, has been collecting a mere $78,222 for his Norfolk County pension. He's been retired since 2011, and yet Rutley still does the right thing by all the county Democrat bosses. He's handed Meatball $1,825 over the years, as well as $1,175 to Brady's boss, Sheriff McDermott, Democrat. I'm sure when Brady picked Rutley, he was looking for reasonable doubt at a reasonable price, but sometimes it pays to seriously lawyer up before, not after, you have to do the perp walk on Northern Avenue. Maybe Brady should have consulted with his brother-in-law, Brian Walsh, who himself happens to be a judge in Norfolk County, at Stoughton District Court, another nationwide search. It's the Hackerama. They're usurping the Constitution.
Usurping, which is how Hank says it.
Usurping.
Yes, I'm good, thanks, Gracie. I just had a dry throat for a second reading that document. Interesting. So what I like about Howie is he's always got the back end information. You know, the politics behind it. I know he's a Republican or he's a conservative, I guess. But that doesn't mean anything in my book. It might to other people.
My God, you'd never know from his writing that he was a conservative.
Never. Can't guess. Possibly have guessed. But I do like his rants. He plonks like so many words in there that I can't say, but I do like his rants.
Yeah, he is very good. He's very to the point. In a way, this is the good thing about the division between the right and the left. They go after each other and pull no punches, you know.
Right. So he goes on with just a little bit more. Why he got jammed up.
All right, okay.
I did hit the right button.
You just dropped it again for a sec.
Back. So see below for what happens when corrupt cops try to frame an innocent person in one county. Read it, Kevin, since I'm dropping out.
Hold on, it's not so easy here on my screen at the moment.
Let me go bigger.
I've got it. No, I've got it.
Yep.
The ethical rot from the Karen Reid case is like metastasizing cancer, spreading rapidly into adjacent areas. This frame job in Dedham reflects so horribly on all DAs in MA, Massachusetts, that there is now a cop in the next county over from Norfolk basically accusing Suffolk DA Kevin Hayden of corruption for not prosecuting a bad cop from Boston. Wonder what gave this guy the idea that local DAs are so crooked they try to protect corrupt local police. This guy also said, thank God for the feds, which we all believed all along. But now it's an open question for public debate. Now that everybody understands the obscene lengths that local law will go to frame an unpopular but innocent party. Can you keep the comments off the screen, because it's down the bottom of the screen here now. Ironically, at least compared to Meatball Morrissey, DA Kevin Hayden is a crime-busting Hall of Famer. Even if he did go to Mayor Wu's racist No Whites Allowed Christmas party at the Parkman House in 23. Falsus in uno, falsus in omnibus. False in one, false in all. That's what's happening now in Massachusetts. Nobody believes anything about justice, even the cops themselves, because why should they? Transit police officer convicted after Suffolk DA drops charges, and then a link to it on the Boston Globe.
Transit police officer.
Yeah.
I don't guess we need to read it because he just basically gave it all. The Suffolk DA dropped the charges. Wow. Else interesting in there? Okay, well. Go. Interesting. So there you go.
Yeah, he's a good writer. I like him.
Hold My Halo still in the house because he also has a story. The house, I'll pop the link in the chat for him, but
I think he's still there. Or she. Hold My Halo, he or she.
I think I just assumed he. I don't know. I know Hold My Halo is the person who told us about McDermott. Another McDermott. There you go. We're 3 McDermotts down today.
I didn't see them in chat there for a while.
Is Auntie Bev's fellow at the in front of her in court. Like, you know, can you take that down, Jim? Put that over there, please, Jim. That's Jimmy McDermott. Hold My Halo is a personal problem with Jimmy McDermott. Bike crash that disabled Hold My Halo's mum. I have seen that in my posts a little while back, in my community posts. Kevy, if you're typing, you need to mute because relax. But I might be the only one who can hear it because I'm on headphones. So,
Right.
Sorry. But that's who Hold My Halo is, and that's the story I posted on my community post a little while back there, just saying that Jimmy McDermott has also been involved in a DUI. Like pretty much everyone sitting in that courtroom, everyone involved in this case has been involved in a DUI, including Chief Rafferty. So that's like DUI Central in Norfolk County, right?
Yeah. The law enforcement in that whole state seem to have a serious issue with alcohol. Like that's coming from an Irishman.
Right. Right. So Guinness.
That's it, Graziella.
Pregnant pause. I was in elementary school. Okay, the chat's gone off on a completely different team. Clearly, whatever we are rambling on with is boring.
I think we'll go to, if you want, we'll go to that Michael Morrissey story because it's a bit juicy and it just shows the corruption.
All right, what's
And
the Michael Morrissey story?
Well, I've posted you a link there from Olivia, and it kind of opens up the story a wee bit.
Michael Morrissey's crash. Right, gotcha. Share this tab. Switch.
So she starts off by going on about hiring an out-of-state. You know, why are they hiring an out-of-state company and not using the internal cars unit to testify at trial? That pretty much summarizes what she was saying. Hold on here now. I'll get you the Morrissey link. Right, this is from Nosy Wren. Nosy Wren. She posted this up. This is the one about Morrissey. Here we go. Looks like I'm alone.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
Struggling to keep up with everything. I'm forgetting where I'm supposed to be clicking. It's all different on this bloody Mac Mini. Screaming, am I late to this information? Oh, it's a video.
Take any questions after his closed-door hearing, but the end result, no charges after that July 16th crash in Milton that sent him and 3 others to the hospital.
So he's officially had more car collisions than Karen Read, and he's definitely sent more people to the hospital than most people in the Commonwealth.
I suffered what is known as a vasovagal syncope.
Wait, vasovagal. That's talking about Officer O'Keefe passing out when he got smacked in the head, and it would cause him to vomit, like, before he passed out. That's vasovagal response, right? So he suffers from a vomiting response from sympathy. What?
Syncope. Vasovagal syncope.
Or sometimes known as an isolated fainting episode due to dehydration and fatigue.
In the full detailed version.
Wait, what? Fainting? I thought it was vomiting. I don't know that he even knows what he's fucking talking about at this point. I gotta Google. I gotta ask ChatGPT. What the hell are we talking about? What is vasovagal? Now I've forgotten how to spell it.
Vasovagal. That happens to me frequently. I read something, go off onto another tab to search it, and I can't remember how to spell it or what it said.
Right. I need to.
What is vasovagal?
All right. I got all typos everywhere, but oh, gotcha. It's one word, vasovagal. I got it almost right.
Vasovagal syncope.
Yeah, it says, what causes it? Common triggers, seeing blood or afraid of needles, which I do. Emotional distress, fear of shock, standing up too long, pain, straining. What happens in the body? Your body perceives stress. Your vagus nerve goes wild, hence vasovagal. It tells your heart to slow down and your blood vessels to relax. Sudden drop in blood pressure and heart rate. Boom, blood flow to the brain drops and you faint. So it is fainting. It's essentially a nervous system faceplant. There you go. So symptoms before fainting, pre nausea. There you go. That's where the nausea comes in. Sweating, lightheadedness, tunnel vision or blurred vision, pale or clammy skin, ringing in the ears or feeling off like you're going to pass out. Is it dangerous? Usually not, unless you're operating a vehicle, obviously. All right, so let's continue on now that we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Version of the hospital notes all the tests that they ran surprisingly Nothing was wrong. According to ChatGPT, the way you diagnose a vasovagal syncope relies heavily on patient-reported symptoms, aka a brilliant defense.
The hearing did delve into possible cell phone use. Morrissey apparently called a pizza shop right before the crash.
He says that his wife said she'd be coming home late from a family reunion, which he wasn't attending for whatever reason. Because he wasn't going to have anyone to have dinner with, he just started blowing up everybody's phone. Couldn't make plans with anyone. He then called to get a pizza. It only lasted 28 seconds. Find that hard to believe. And of course, he finishes with,
My cell phone records will also show that the phone did not play any role in it whatsoever.
we know how these things go by now. Michael Morrissey says something didn't happen. It probably did. In fact, it definitely
True.
did. He really thinks the world is stupid. So we do have a copy of his call log, but let's blow it up. Front page of the fax cover, down in the notes, it says that these times aren't completely accurate. He certainly wasn't kidding about calling everybody, even called the neighbor. The final phone call before the accident was at 1746. Pizza shop. And the first call he makes after the accident is to Lieutenant Kevin Shea. I was able to do some digging on Kevin Shea. That's for another time. Now we have the police report. Notice the assigned reconstructionist, Lieutenant Andrew Klain. Of course, Massachusetts State Police Officer, because unless you're Karen Reed, this is who's gonna crash data analyze you. But not only is he a state trooper, he's also employed by Aperture as of May of last year, 2024. Looks like he retired from the state police in 2017, and then he became the president of Klain and Associates, and we'll get to that later. Lieutenant Klain was pretty high up at the Massachusetts State Police CARS unit. That's right. He trained and supervised our favorite, Pirouette Paul, trooper from Trial 1. You know, the guy who was like, I don't know, the scene just spoke to me. Back to Klain's report. This is important. It says on July 30th, 2013, he conducts this investigation. After Michael Morrissey has received his phone records from Verizon, nowhere in the report were those phone records ever provided, nor were pictures of the scene of the accident. Here's Klain's report.
47 page
Bombshell. This is so bad.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, wow.
DA Morrissey crashed his car.
Sorry.
It begs the question, if out of all the companies in the United States, and the fact that they had to leave the state of Massachusetts to find, overlooking their own specialist units and experts, to find a company, it happens to be a company that has this Klain fella employed.
Interesting.
It stinks. It absolutely stinks to high heaven and warrants an investigation on its own.
Thing needs to be investigated, and I don't know what the freaking feds are doing right now. Like, I'm just speechless. I'm just speechless because I feel like they got enough RICO going on here to bloody sink a battleship.
Yeah, there's too many coincidences.
Yeah.
I know there's a saying around coincidence. One coincidence is what? Chance or something. And somebody in chat might know it.
At that point of, I wish I could agree with you, Alan Jackson's pregnant pause. You cannot tell me the feds aren't all over the Aperture. I just feel like they're not looking. They might be watching this trial to see what else is going on, but I feel like they're just not looking hard enough. It's like, God, if we look too hard, you know, kind of like not investigating the people in the party house. If we look too hard, we might actually find a culprit.
Well, to be fair, the feds are notoriously slow at their investigations. And you only have to look at the one you were talking about there last week, the plumbing issue.
Yeah,
it
took
them
4
4
years.
it took them 4 years for that one. This
We're
is
on year
much-
number
much
3
deeper.
now.
Yeah, it's much deeper, much more widespread and you're dealing with police at different levels and a
And
district
also
attorney's office.
Morrissey, his history is 20 years long in this position, so probably goes back a long way.
So I would be patient with the feds. I think I would hope they're doing their job in the background, and that's the best you can hope for, really. There's not going to be, as we covered this before and talked about it a few times, there's not going to be a burst open the courtroom doors, release Karen Reid and arrest everybody else moment.
When I caught Devers testifying this morning, I was sitting there the whole time through the whole thing going, say FBI, say FBI, say FBI, say FBI, say it, say it, say it. I just wanted her to say FBI. She almost did a couple of times, but she didn't. Nate says they got way more today from, I don't know which is easier to read, from Lady Diva, say my name. They are gathering facts and act when all is done. They will get them. Don't have the same faith that you guys do. I know I did a little while back when I published my reckoning video. I had every bit of faith that day. It's kind of waning at the moment. Party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. Thank you, Edie. That was absolutely profoundly apt at this moment in time.
Yeah. Very deep, Eddie.
Interesting.
Everything about this case in Massachusetts could be described in Orwellian terms. Especially in 1984. It's just bizarre.
My fantasy too, to see the communications between Bev and Michael Morrissey and Brennan and Appish. I don't know that I care much about seeing Brennan and Appish, but I want to see the comms between Bev and Morrissey. I'm sure there are comms there. I am so sure they're there. You know what's going to happen? Like, I can predict it already. The trial is going to end, however it ends, and then 6 months later, we're going to find out that Bev did have communications with Morrissey. That's how it's going to go.
I don't think
No
we'll ever get to
offense,
see
Mum.
them, unless the feds can get their hands on it. But I'd say they're just too clever.
No offense, Mum. I think the woman who made the appearance in Sallyport was actually Chief Rafferty. I think because Deva said she saw Higgy and Berkowitz in the Sallyport, whereas when Chief Rafferty went in there, that was Proctor and Bukaki. Panic. Sorry, YouTube. You reckon?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Rafferty that she's thinking of.
That's why I think it was Rafferty, because different people were in there at the time when she went in there. So that's why I think it's Rafferty. Yep. You think it's Rafferty? I did. The hairstyle, she's she's an older lady, so she's got a little bit of weight on her. So it was kind of a pudgy person with a hairstyle like Rafferty. So that's what makes me think it's Rafferty. Whereas this chick, she's actually quite slim and fit. Interesting all round. Have a look what else we got to gossip about. Goat Boy.
Proctor. I forget the man's name. He testified first this morning to the text, but that's the whole Proctor thing is on X. It seemed to be dominating X there over the weekend. Should he be called? Should he not be called? And then you had the testimony this morning, and Brennan pulled a trick, or at least it appears he pulled a trick by reading out the text messages and taking the sting out of it in the manner that he delivered it. And everybody's hoping Jackson has something up his sleeve to counter that, but it's difficult to see what might be there.
Deva got a pay rise. So in 2022, she was a rookie. 2023, she went up 80 grand. 21, 90 grand. 2022, she must have been on 90 grand. 2023, she goes up to 85. 2024, she's on 143.
Jesus
Stress.
Christ. What drugs are they taking in America that they're paying police officers that kind of money?
At Canton, Boston. Interesting, right? No, Rafferty is no longer slim. Older pictures, but chubby now.
Rafferty's not slim.
No, she's. I wouldn't say she's unhealthily fat. I wouldn't say that.
She's not
But
obese.
she's
Yeah.
definitely
As we
more
would say here in Ireland, she's a sturdy girl.
sturdy, right? But she's Rubenesque is probably the proper term, right? But she's definitely more Rubenesque than Diva is, right? Deva, sorry.
Yeah. She'd be carrying a little bit more than Dever.
Oh my God, Aaron, I freaked out when he did that. I was like, what the actual...
Jenny was really upset with that on Gavel Geek.
I don't know who he was saying it was, but he said father. Said the father OD'd on the wife's grave. So I don't know who he was referring to. OD doesn't necessarily mean died. You can OD and not die. So I actually don't know if he was saying he was referring to the brother-in-law, like her husband, or John's dad. I don't know who he was referring to. Either way, it wasn't nice. It was awful.
Yeah, that's it, Nate. Cuddly, not fat. Good man.
Cuggly. Cuggly, right, Nate? Cuggly. That's an ad here in Australia for a fabric softener. So cuggly. In the Canton meetings and looks slim to me, but taller than Deva.
Well, to be fair, when
Not
you're
slim,
in
she's
full
chunky.
uniform, when you're in full uniform and you're loaded up with all the gear, and you don't know is she wearing, when she's carrying the gun and the gun belt and all that, I think it's standard procedure for them all to have at least a stab vest on under the shirt. So that could be adding a bit of bulk to her. So maybe she could be thinner than we think. I don't know. I'm trying to be generous.
But Duper's Delight by Corn Pope. God, are you for real?
What's that?
I'm looking at profiling evil. Like, what? Why do you have to do that? I put him up a couple of times on his bloody attitude here. I don't even want to show you. It's bullshit.
Right, okay. Just back to the Proctor thing. There was one commenter made a very good point. There's only one text message if Alan Jackson gets to nail it, is we're going to pin it on the girl. If you can highlight that one text, you could do what Brennan's doing with the Karen Reid videos and only read that one text out of context, because that's exactly what it is. They're pinning it on her. Jeff
Meredith
Burkhart's-
calling Yaki.
Say again?
Meredith's calling someone Yaki, and I'm like, who's she calling Yaki? It's got so much worse. I can't imagine Yaki will be invited back anytime soon. According to him, Proctor is a nice guy. Even poor Sue couldn't hold back her laughter.
All right. Judge, why do you think calling Proctor by the defense means the case explodes on them?
Because he has multiple, it's like a multi-pronged thing, and he can destroy them by showing that he is, allegedly, I got no idea, that he is a nice guy, that the 100% reason he wanted...
Whoa, a nice guy doesn't use the words he was using in those text messages.
I'm sorry, this is a real jury there. It's, they can
One of the jurors do right now.
that, do this. That I'm pursuing a murderer, and
Sue is literally rolling on the floor laughing her ass off. I know who Yaki is now. It's got context. So this judge here, he's tweeting as Yaki, and people thought it was a parody. They didn't actually realize it was a real judge.
I made terrible errors of judgment, a whole bunch of them, and I apologize deeply for that, but this is a cold-blooded murderer.
All right, well, she's an accused murderer. We should, of course, make that
That's what
clear.
he's going to say.
And-
If his
Oh my God, you're a fucking judge. You should know that. Am I right? He should know that. She's not a cold-blooded murderer until she's convicted. It's up to the state to prove it.
call.
Okay, all right, and I can hear the dings of the emails in the inbox right now in the newsroom. Judge Liu, thank you very much for your commentary.
Stupid idiot. I can't believe he said that on freaking TV. Interesting. Beresky. Oh my God, that poor judge is copying so much shit from Lori Daybell. She like refused to go to court today. For those who don't know, she refused to get out to actually attend court. So the guards have like grabbed her and shoved her in a wheelchair and tied her into it, wheeled her into court anyway. So she's sitting in there crying to the judge, I'm so sick. I can't do this. Will you be better tomorrow? I don't know. You'll have to come and find out. And he's like, yeah, I'll pass on that. It was so fucking screwed up. That chick is just, she's like Amber Heard with freaking labels, like seriously. She thinks she's gonna get away with this shit. So we're wondering if she's gonna turn up court tomorrow in a freaking on a stretcher. They're gonna have to tie her to a freaking stretcher to get her into court. But she's trying to delay the court because she doesn't want Beresky to be the judge. She's trying to get the judge chucked off the case. She's done multiple motions to him and he's gone, yeah, nah. And then she did another secret little motion to another judge just recently, the other day. And that judge went, yeah, nah. So now she's trying to pull a, oh, I'm too sick. I got COVID. I can't do anything. I can't even get off the bed. So they literally tied her in a wheelchair and wheeled her into court anyway. Oh my God, it was hilarious. Oh, it's going to be hard to defend herself that way, right? I wouldn't mind betting that she's going to do another. I know I'm mentally unfit again, so I think she's realised she stepped in it trying to defend herself twice in the same case. So, but anyway, so this is Beresky denying Daybell's motion to dismiss for non-preservation of crucial evidence regarding Brandon Boudreau's Tesla door and window. Why didn't you keep the whole door and the window? Is what she's arguing. That was evidence. And Kay Woodcock's like loving every minute of everything that's going on. She's enjoying the show. She loves Judge Beresky. For those who don't know who Kay Woodcock is, she is JJ's grandma that Lori Vallow murdered. So yeah, it's her third trial, right? It's going on and freaking on and on. And so what we think is she's just trying to delay shit. Essentially, she's not serious about the Brandon Boudreau trial, but I have a feeling, he's the one that got away and she's afraid to face him. But I mean, that's some people's feelings, which I think is probably true. But on top of all of that, I think that she thinks if she can delay it long enough, then Judge Beresky won't be able to be the judge on the case. So kind of did a bev. If you want to look at it from Laurie's point of view, he kind of did a bev. He was going to get circulated out. I don't think it was circulated out of that court, but I think it was he had other cases or something along those lines. I don't remember rightly off the top of my head, but he said, like, if you're not going to plead whatever it is, if you're not going to give up your right to a speedy trial, then I'm on your case. And she refused to give up her right to a speedy trial, so he's on her case. That's how it went, I think. So Erin, my mum grew up near Kay Woodcock and Charles Fellow. Both my parents went to the same college as Charles. There you go. Like Kay. I like the family. They seem like decent people. But that was a little sidetrack. And it's only in my feed because I do follow that case. I just don't want to do I just didn't want to do the stuff on the kids because it's too disturbing with the kids and it upsets me and I just so anyway, let's have a listen to this. The person, this is Jukebox Grad. So this is someone that I follow because he's pretty good with the tech stuff. We're often banging our heads together on what we're considering in the tech stuff. So the person that is best qualified for that is a physician. The answer, so a medical examiner wouldn't cut it, in your opinion? Oh, that's Hank asking her. Sorry, that was her saying that, and Hank asking her wouldn't cut it. She says a medical examiner is a physician. Hank is such a dope. That was such a cell phone, wasn't it? Absolutely. Oh, estimation is in. Oh my God, yes. That's freaking awesome. Easter Motion gets a renewed not me stalking the docket all day, says Meredith. Know what that's to do, but the Michael Easter motion has to be looked at again, does it? What knows this her last chance to breathe fresh air and she's gonna milk it as long as she can. Yeah, so I wonder if the defense can renew the motion for Michael Easter because Officer Devitt opened the door, according to Jason. Right? Never have I ever from Dream Media. The drinking game nobody asked for. Yeah. Kelly Dever told the truth in the Karen Reid trial.
I would like to start my testimony by saying that you're really going to hate me. You will also notice that I suffer from a rare disease called permanent bitch face. It's different than the more commonly known resting bitch face. The only time I told the truth in this case was to the FBI. And man, was that a mistake. I got the blue line memo a little too late. In order to save my job, the Boston Police Commissioner told me to do what is right. What I understand to be the right thing to do is help that fat fuck Michael Morrissey in framing this innocent woman. I would like to start my testimony.
Oh my God, that was good. I did have that on the screen. We all saw it, right? Oh my God. Thank you, Derek, for that. That was pretty bloody awesome, really. Michelle, I think she's working today, but there you go. That's our Michelle. Kelly Dever was unprofessional, abrasive, a wise guy or gal, and may just be a visual portal into the NPD culture. I agree too. Kelly Dever get a promotion from the Boston PD department soon. She's already got it, Olivia. Preemptively. Oh yeah, that's her paycheck again. Go. Today was a blow. Wait till you find out how right I am about Aidan Tully, Proctor, and more. Those who don't know, Christie was the whistleblower who flipped on the other side and told us a heap of shit. Better file a motion for court clerk to show juror numbers to the defence and Commonwealth, and after putting them in the tumbler to choose the alternate. I don't know if they can actually. I don't know if there is such a motion. because it's not really supported by law. It's actually judge's discretion, I think. Been doing the rounds for quite some time, but this dude got attacked by a dog. Look at that! Does that look like tail light to you? Wait, you testified, but in time since you have been told it was false memory about Proctor being in the garage with the car for a good while. Plus, you changed jobs. Makes sense dodging questions left and right. Why discussing testimony with other law enforcement? Those who don't know, uncivil law is a lawyer asking pertinent questions. The FBI.
Fact of the matter is, nobody ever threatened you with perjury, did they?
Oh, they did. Yes.
That's it.
'Cause
That's
I
it.
contacted the FBI regarding it.
Oh my god, I missed it. She did it. She did it. Good catch, Wade. Good catch. She did do it. She said the FBI. And what happened to Kev? He's AFK.
No, I'm here.
She did it. She said the FBI in front of the jury.
Yeah, I thought she did. Yeah. So the question is now: are they in? Is Bev going to allow it? Is she's going to have a tough time not allowing it?
Yeah.
But you know in your heart and soul that Brennan and Morrissey and are going to be putting the screws on Bev to prevent it.
Oh, but she said the FBI. I need Emily's FBI.
Jackson did it a couple of times during the examination where he hinted
before or
at
after she did it.
before he was the whole line of questioning he was doing with her was trying to get her to mention the feds, and he did it.
Yeah,
He got her to do it. He kept hinting at it, dancing around it, and you could see her getting a little bit annoyed, and that's when she let it slip.
She said the FBI. Yay. Well, it's interesting because I think that does bring in a renewed motion for Michael Easter. I'm not sure. Michael Easter was on the witness list and Bev denied it, but he was originally on there because he trains law enforcement and wrote some manuals about the procedures for crime scene management and the whole investigation process, how they're supposed to do stuff. And Bev denied it, said no, he can't come in. He said to AJ, well, if you want to bring in Easter, then what's to stop Hank Brennan from asking you all about, your relationship with the FBI? And he was like, do it. Do it. So that's who Michael Easter is. Excuse me. And I think that's pertinent now. It could be because they want to raise the Bowden defense, which Michael Easter is a crucial witness to. Federer, not a great look for the prosecutor to have the expert adopt the ME's conclusion about a series of wounds, reject the witness's claims that she doesn't disagree with the prosecution's representation of the ME's opinion, and then continue pressuring the witness to the point he asks to see the ME's report, which leads the prosecutor to sheepishly acknowledge the information being sought is not in the ME's autopsy report. Well, here's the other thing about it. The ME report was all blanked out this time round. There was sweet FA in the ME report this time round. It was all blanked out. Well, at least the diagram was, as far as what we analysed. So, ever had two mic drop moments? The FBI mentioned the first trial. Oh, as she mentioned the first trial, right? I caught that one. But here's the thing: I listened to her twice say the FBI, and I still didn't pick up that she said the FBI because I already knew about the FBI. It just didn't click in my head that she said it, but that's Bettero on, I think he was talking about Dr. Russell. Much love. As much as I love the idea of someone rolling their eyes and huffing at Bev. Diddy Deva has a memory that fades when it matters most. There you go. That's all the news on the Deva. We're going to get into the dog testimony, but I want to do a dedicated live to the dog testimony once I can blank diagram. Yeah, I don't think anyone else caught that. I didn't hear anyone else mention it. Very interesting, right? Kevin. Oh, he got booted. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm back. Me tab crashed.
Damn that tab. Well, we're going to sign off now. I think we're done. We're going to do a completely whole new separate stream on the dog bite testimony. But here's the thing, guys. Tomorrow, I might be out. I another coffee. I might be out of action tomorrow. What I might I'll give it a shot trying to stream from my phone. It'll be a very short stream because I don't know how long my phone will stream for before it runs out of battery because I've never done it off my phone before. But I don't know what my reception's going to be like. Tomorrow my car is booked in for repairs that I need done so I can tow again. And it might be like, I know it's going to be like first thing in the morning through to hell. I didn't even know what time of the day. But if I do have reception out on this mechanic site, I will try to stream anyway and do a event stream. Kev will drive the back end for me, but it just depends what my reception's like. So don't tie me to it because I don't know what my reception's going to be like at that end. Trooper Paul on X. Really?
I think you're going to like this one.
Yeah, Trooper Paul on X. Yep. Philip Dubé. Hank provided a collision. John O'Keefe was knocked out of his shoes caused by a momentum transfer and centrifugal force to the legs and feet and loosened the musculature. Lay jurors know from their life experience about this medical legal phenomenon after a pedestrian strike. Knocked out of his shoes with a side swipe of a glancing blow because the side swipe of a glancing blow and no bruises, only the big gash on his head and the arm that was never x-rayed. He failed science classes too. Know why we're reading this. Don't teach cadaver examination in HS science class. Angles, force, acceleration, or mass. Physics, not science, and you definitely don't know fuck all about physics. Physics, not science. Oh yeah, physics is science, you fucking moron. There it is. The FKS semantics games. Physics is mathematics. Oh my god. The branch of science concerned with the nature and properties of matter and energy, the subject matter of physics, distinguished from that of chemistry and biology, includes mechanics, heat, light, and other radiation, sound, electricity, magnetism, and the structure of atoms, you freaking moron. There you go. That's why she thinks she found Trooper Paul. Is medico legal even a thing? I think it is. I just wasn't reading it right. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That's a funny outro for today. We are going to go now to this tab and do an outro. Hang on. I don't even know what song I got racked up. One might be slow. Slow. Do some eyebrow. Let's do some eyebrow shit. The claw is the law. Let's do that song. We got to play out the ads on mute. The other day, I got copyright struck because of the music in a freaking ad that YouTube put on my music. So, waiting for the ads. And we will talk to you hopefully tomorrow. We'll see how we go. If not, it'll be the following day. All right, guys and girls. We are out on this end.